Right.
Okay. And what about? How come the kids wasn't let on at the subway station to go home? Why did they stop the transit?
It was orchestrated.
It was orchestrated.
Yes.
Dr. Andre Humphrey? Yeah. Mm. They was
No.
gearing up before the rocks was thrown.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Orchestrated.
Brother Jimmy, let me just interject and say this to you. How could someone stop the public transportation that day and let them out of school early and they had no way of getting home, didn't notify their parents, and when you get a group of young people of that magnitude, if they don't have something constructive to do, they're going to find something destructive to do.
And not only that, that's just organically, right? We're talking about teenagers who are naturally rebellious. Even the good kids, you put them in the right atmosphere and the right environment. But when you apply pressure, now your normal routine is being disrupted. You walk every day across the mall, go to the transit station. Now you're being told for no good reason, nope, you ain't coming here today. Huh? What? Why? So now that's the part that is insightful. You are inciting something. You're instigating something when you take teenagers and disrupt their normal routine without any good reason.
Wow.
And furthermore, let's be clear about this. We're still trying to get confirmation. But if there was all this information, credible intelligence received that the students were going to do this, that, and the other, why wasn't there communication between the police department and the schools?
Why weren't they prepared?
Wow.
You're right.
Why
You're absolutely
weren't the
right.
schools, why wasn't the dismissal done in an orderly fashion and maybe have the students escorted to the station to get them out of the area as opposed to corralling them off and blocking the station? If you think something's going to happen, do you want a larger crowd that's harder to control, or do you want to expedite the crowd being able to make egress from the area?
Brother Jimmy, let's think about this because I'm asking the same questions you asked. Remember the night of the baseball game, prior to everything really getting kicked up. Once the thing started at Pickles Pub and started getting heated,
Yeah. What
they
happened?
didn't let the people out of the stadium. They had them shelter in place for their safety, right? It had gotten cold and it was raining, but they had people stay in the stadium. So now move forward. At the funeral, they released this information that they had information about
At who
gangs.
funeral?
At Freddie Gray's funeral,
Uh-huh.
the police tweeted out that they had information that gangs were going to unite to take police. That sounds like a threat. And all over the country, they're picking people up for threats on social media.
Right.
And yet they haven't gone after anybody. Traced down the
It's a
origin of this
conspiracy.
tweet.
What's going on?
They haven't traced down the origin of this tweet.
Can we keep it real? Listen, just about a half hour south of Baltimore is the headquarters of the NSA. Okay, if we want, if we believe that these tweets and stuff came from criminal elements, it wouldn't be very hard to track
Who
down
the tweets
actual
really
source.
came from?
For it to remain a mystery still, all this time later, a month and a half, we know what's really going on because he must not be looking that hard.
Well, Jimmy, I have an ex-police officer getting ready to join us on the line, Ernest. Jimmy, maybe he has some expertise about what really happened. What you think? Ernest, you live with Jimmy the Bodyguard along with Dr. Andre Humphrey and Mr. Christopher Urban. How you doing?
Hey, Larry, this
Oh.
is the other Ernest.
Oh, you the other Ernest, okay. Are you the
I've been on the other side.
bad guy and then you the good guy again, or how that works?
Well, I'm a little Ernest, but anyway, but you know, I knew that the other earners, the police officers. Here's the thing: the whole idea of being locked up. I've been locked up here in Baltimore and Chicago. When you first get locked up, first thing on your mind is going to see the judge to get bail, to call your family, to let them know that, hey, look, I'm locked up, and you get your paperwork on what you're being charged for. The thing is, I know about the so-called uprising and things of that nature, but the principle of this whole thing, the police violated Freddie Gray rights. He didn't even get a chance to see the judge, the bail judge. I mean, he was in the wagon for 43 minutes, you know, and this is the most disturbing part about guys that's being locked up right now, fighting that case right now, Larry. You feel what I'm saying?
Brother Ernest, let me just jump in on you. First of all, if the gentleman, Freddie Gray's friend, would have never videoed it and got that information out, the police would have got away with murder.
Yeah, Mr. Kevin Moore.
You're right.
Go ahead. I ain't mean to cut you off. Go ahead and finish.
So my point that I'm saying is this, is that a lot of folks is being focused on, okay, the CVS, the young students at Madame Mall, but how did we get here? We got here by some of the officers violated his rights and have no accountability for it.
Well, we understand that, but also look what they're trying to do to State's Attorney Marilyn Mosby.
Oh,
That's another radio, Brother Irvin. That's another story of its own. We ain't even gonna touch that.
Jimmy will touch it.
Not on this show. We don't have
We don't have the time, Brother Jimmy.
Okay. Well, let's just concentrate on what really happened at Madame Mall.
What happened? People were looting and stealing. What you mean?
Well, what happened was that the first incident that the subway trains were cut.
Okay.
The kids couldn't get home. So if a kid can't get home from school, what they going to do?
Let me back you up.
And when the trucks, the SWAT team trucks, keep rolling around, pushing them in the streets, because they pushed us in the streets, and cars was coming down the street and almost got ran over by the cars.
But we still got to back up some more. How was this environment created? So like I said, they sent out a tweet saying that the gangs united, right? But then there was another thing after that when they said they put out this information that we're monitoring social media and we see that large groups are going to mass at Mondawmin Mall. Right? Is that right, Jimmy?
Yes.
And then you cut off the transportation, the trains and the buses, and you let the kids out of school. Now, if you're so worried about what's going on,
Keep the kids in school.
Right, you kept the people in the baseball stadium.
Oh,
Didn't
get
you?
'em.
Oh,
For their
now
own
you
safety.
talking.
You see what
It
I'm
was a
saying? So
setup.
you created an environment, and then you let them go in.
Brother Jim-
Because remember, for a day or two prior, there were completely in control protests. That was not the first day.
Brother Jimmy, why were you laughing, Brother Jimmy?
Well, for so many reasons, but I'm going to just jump on the last part of what he said, the comparison. If you're going to keep grown adults, paid money to be somewhere and told them they can't get out, how much more authority do you have over minors where you're in charge with
That makes
care
sense.
and their safety? And to then say that we have credible information of this, that, and the other, and not take charge of the situation and say, you know what, right now, parents, this is what's going on. We need you involved. You need to come here and pick up your child or whatever. Something more could have been done than what was